It's time for grassroots racers and fans to gather around. Welcome to the Racing Roundup Show, your destination for news and interviews within the Wisconsin racing scene, the upper Midwest, and from the world of motorsports. Thank you for joining us for our 38th season, America's longest running weekly motorsports program held in front of a live audience. Tell your friends they still have time to join the racing crowd for tonight's show. And now, here is the host of the Racing Roundup Show, Jim Trado.
Hey gang, how are you? Thanks for being part of our April 26th program. It's our 38th season already of the Racing Roundup Show. We can't tell you how stoked we are to be with you. It's been a lot of fun once again tonight. We are live, as we are every Tuesday, down through September, at Polly's Pub and Eatery at the corner of South 81st Street and Greenfield Avenue in West Dallas, right across from the Milwaukee Mile and State Fair Park. Come on down and join the racing crowd. We got a lot of fun things to talk about, a lot of great people here already. We are fortunate to have great sponsors on our show as well. I want to highlight Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment in Muskego. They're a great family business. They have master service technicians, excellent customer service to repair or replace your mower, trimmer, snowblower, or commercial lawn care equipment. They have a huge parts inventory too. You can see the pros at Olson's by visiting them at 14323 West College Avenue in Muskego, or visit olsonspower.com where they have their inventory and parts online you can buy without having to go to the showroom. They'll be happy to help you. Great staff there as well at Olson's Outdoor Power. Tonight we're joined by Badger Kart Club class champion racer Nick Sobiak, who brought his kart on display. Thank you, Nick, for bringing down the kart. Defending Wisconsin Wingless Sprint Series champion Ryan Marshall is here with his car on display. Shiny new, ready to race this Saturday at Wilmot Raceway in their season opener. Dirt Sport Mod racer Jason Schilling has a beautiful number 70 parked right out front here on Greenfield Avenue. Thanks to Jason and his gang for coming down tonight. His car is parked out front here at Polly's as well. We'll begin our program in just a few moments with the president of IRA Sprint, Steve Sinclair. Thanks for coming down, Steve. Busy schedules. They were racing already this past Saturday in Beaver Dam. The owner of Keene Parts, Tom Keene, has stepped up to sponsor the first two ARCA Midwest Tour races this season. We'll talk to Tom about what his business does and how passionate he is about sponsoring short track and grassroots racing, and even up to the cup level. Great guy. We'll hope to have him on talking about how he's sponsoring this Sunday's Joe Shear Classic presented by Keene Parts and CorvetteParts.net. We also will get the lowdown on how you can contribute to the Mike Weir Memorial Fund. Mike was a great guy, a racer for a long time in the area. His brother and some buddies and friends have gotten together. They have got a memorial fund started to award a deserving WCTC student in Mike's memory. We'll tell you more about that here on the program as well. So thanks for that group for coming down. And the racing crowd's here. Come on down and be part of this. It's a lot of fun in front of a live audience and enjoy racing and bench racing. And racing's in full swing now here finally. The weather may not cooperate all the time, but we're having a great time inside Polly's Pub and Eatery here on 81st and Greenfield. Come on, John, and join the racing crowd. Our show starts after hearing from some of our great sponsors. Thanks to Central Services, Road America, Allied Resource Recovery, and Badger Kart Club. They make this show happen. Support their businesses, and we'll talk to you right after we hear from them on this edition of the Racing Roundup Show.
Thanks for tuning in to the Racing Roundup Show. Check out our website, racingroundup.show.com, and like our show on Facebook. Join us on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We're coming right back after these messages from our awesome show sponsors.
Add value and beauty to your home or commercial property with professional landscaping from Central Services Company, Incorporated. The team at Central Services is their personal choice of over 45 years of satisfied customers in Southeast Wisconsin for landscape design, construction, and grounds maintenance. Call Central Services at 262-548-0005 for all your landscaping and lawn care needs. No job is too large or too small. From lawn fertilization and weed control to award-winning landscape construction and building your backyard patio oasis, Central Services is your full-service landscape company. Call the experts at Central Services at 262-548-0005 for a free, no-obligation consultation at your home or business. Find out why Central Services can provide you with the visual difference in the art of landscaping and lawn care. Call 262-548-0005. Central Services, the visual difference in landscaping.
It'll be here before you know it. America's National Park of Speed, Road America, has a thrilling, jam-packed race season coming May through September. Vintage racing, IndyCar, NASCAR, and more. Don't wait. Get your tickets today at roadamerica.com.
ARR has been recycling for over 80 years and is here to help you with your spring cleaning. Take them your recyclable metals and they'll pay you cash. ARR buys aluminum, brass, copper, lead, and steel. And contractors, ARR has a bonus program just for you that puts more cash in your pocket. Find their full list of accepted materials at ARR1938.com. ARR with locations in West Dallas, Waukesha, and Milwaukee, right next to Miller Park. ARR Recycling since 1938.
Get your whole family involved in affordable, competitive kart racing at Millwright Raceway in Dousman, Wisconsin, home of the Badger Kart Club. Walk the pit area, talk to racers, and check out the action from the grandstands. There's a play area for the kids and great food at the concession stand. Spectator admission is free. Badger Kart Club Points Racers and National Touring Series race on the challenging paved road course most Sundays from April through September. Badger Kart Club is well established and well respected. There's 15 classes and over 100 drivers racing every week. From ages 5 to 75, kart racing offers competition for generations of racers of all ages. Bring the kids and check out kart racing for yourself at one of America's finest kart tracks. This is where Alan Kowicki, Danica Patrick, Sam Mayer, and Josh Palicki got their start. Millwright Raceway is just south of I-94 in Dousman, 35 miles west of Milwaukee, and 45 miles east of Madison. For all the latest information, directions, and race schedule, visit BadgerKartClub.com. Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show. Glad to have you with us on a Tuesday night. We're having a great time with the fans and hanging out with racers. We commingle every Tuesday here all the way through September. If you want to be on the show or know somebody who'd like to advertise with us, our website's all set up, brand spanking. You click on RacingRoundupShow.com. First thing you see is a big box. Click on that to see our show or any prior shows this year, or going on back through the archives, or click that Contact Us button and let you know how we can get you involved with our program as a guest or as a provider of prizes or as a sponsor. Hey, we're grateful to have support of our show from a lot of people. Automatic Transmission Design. Automatic Transmission Design is a racing family-run business with ASE certified technicians who can tackle any job from oil changes to exhaust systems and transmission replacement to in-house design and build of your race car or off-road truck's drivetrain. They do it all. Visit ATD in Germantown, find them on Facebook, or log on to autotransdesign.com. This portion of our show is brought to you by Allied Resource Recovery. $1 a pound was the report from Dean Strom last week on how much it is for aluminum right now. Turn your recyclable metals into cash today at Allied Resource Recovery with 3 locations. ARR West Dallas Recycling is at 80th and Burnham. ARR Waukesha Recycling is at 1001 Tesh Court. And you can cash in at National Salvage on South 44th Street across from where the Milwaukee Brewers play. Visit AlliedResourceRecovery.com. We'll have prize giveaways tonight after the show. We have race tickets to this Saturday's races at Wilmot Raceway. They're starting up their season this Saturday with 410 Wing Sprint cars joining their program. Looking forward to having that fun discussion. Thanks to CK Contractors for providing those race tickets. We have bottles of Anderson's maple syrup. We have Interstate Batteries racing calendars and LED keychain flashlights. We have racing t-shirts and can koozies from Ryan Marshall's sponsors and team. We also have other racing t-shirts, die-cast cars, racing hats, and more. So come on down. We do prize giveaways after every show. Come on down and have some fun with us. You got to win those here at the show. We'll have other prizes throughout the season where you can join us via email contesting or using hashtags. We're developing that and having some fun with you if you're not able to join us on a Tuesday here at Polly's in West Dallas. It's time for the Interstate Batteries NASCAR Report. They've been a proud sponsor of Joe Gibbs Racing for 30 years and counting. Interstate Batteries of Southeast Wisconsin has every battery you ever will need. To find an Interstate Batteries dealer near you, go to interstatebatteries.com. They're great people, and they're great sponsors of our show, and they brought us this Kyle Busch helmet. We give that away. We're going to make sure you get a chance to enter to win that multiple times over the course of the season. Trackhouse Racing and their Cup Series driver Ross Chastain have won now their second race in 10 events this season with their Talladega victory on Sunday. Chastain committed to the bottom of the track, clumbing to the checkers, while leader Eric Jones moved from the bottom up to attempt the block to run by Kyle Larson. It was the same formula at Dega. Tight formation and a wild green-white checker finish with cars crashing into the wall and other cars as they crossed the line. Turns out the bottom trio of Chastain, Austin Dillon, and Kyle Busch finished 1, 2, 3. They didn't move off the double yellow line, but Larson ended up 4th. Martin Truex 5th. Then Jones came 6th. Cup Series point leader Chase Elliott finished 7th and also raced over the weekend in a dirt late model across the street at the Talladega Dirt Track, as did Red Farmer in his modified, as did Chase Briscoe in one of his announced 410 Wing Sprint Car races, which includes, I think, Thursday, June 30th at Plymouth Dirt Track. We'll talk to him more about that with Steve Sinclair here in just a minute. Speaking of NASCAR, I didn't watch Sunday's Cup race. I was at Slinger with the Elite 8 Super Late models in the ARCA Midwest Tour, but I found it interesting. Maybe you guys can tell us what you think. Use our Twitter hashtag at Racing Roundup. Use our Twitter handle. Tell us what you thought was cool about NBC allowing Dale Jr. to climb into the Fox TV booth at Talladega to call Sunday's race. I thought it was kind of interesting they would allow that. But let me know how you think it went, would you? Franklin, Wisconsin, Sam Mayer led 2 laps on Saturday in the Talladega Xfinity Series race and was lined up behind his Junior Motorsports teammate Noah Gragson in the first of 2 rows on a restart. On the outside, Gragson, then Mayer. They found himself fighting the wheel. Sam found himself fighting the wheel as a nudge from behind sent Mayer's Chevy wiggling left and right off the nose of A.J. Allmendinger, then across the nose of Austin Hill's Chevy as he barreled to the inside, just shot across the racetrack. Hill led 67 laps. They both crashed. Sam walked away from a hard head-on crash into the inside wall, but ended up with a 28th place finish. Gragson won after inheriting the lead from his Junior Motorsports teammate Justin Allgaier. There were 3 overtimes. Allgaier ran out of gas and pulled up out of the way. Everyone piling past him, and the crowd went crazy as Dale Earnhardt's grandson, Jeffrey, was in the number 3 for Richard Childress, won the pole at Talladega in the Xfinity race. He came barreling through the field, literally, like he wasn't hitting anything, he was just flying. Came up to pass Allmendinger to the white flag, and then the checkers. Allmendinger ended up 3rd behind Jeffrey Earnhardt, Dale's grandson. It was a big deal at Talladega. I was at Talladega on Saturday as part of the ARCA on FS1 crew. The race got time shortened due to a lengthy cleanup and driver extraction of driver Scott Melton after his Kimmel Racing Ford T-boned Eric Caudell's spinning Ford in the Talladega Tri-Oval in a multi-car crash. Scott messaged on Facebook he had suffered a compound fracture in his left leg, and he thanked the helicopter pilot for the free ride to the hospital in Birmingham. Scott's in good spirits, but again, that's going to take a long time to heal for that driver, so looking forward to seeing Scott get back on the track soon. But that red flag period also ate into the time before the Xfinity Series race started, so the teams were told you got 14 laps left, next flag ends the race, whether it's a yellow or the checkered flag. That made the pace a little bit higher, I'd say. The intensity picked up, and once up to speed, 18-year-old Daniel Dye, in his Talladega debut, had a fast Chevy, worked his way up to the front of the outside lane, tried to block the run by home track racer Brett Holmes. They both moved up the racetrack, Dye in front. Then when Dye moved back down the track, he drifted down and across the nose of the car on the inside line, leading Corey Heim. Heim burped the gas and continued as Dye's car spun to the infield apron. With momentum, Nick Sanchez slipped through the midst of a 3-wide run and raced past Heim. Boom, caution. Sanchez declared the winner at the time of the caution. That ended the race. Sanchez did run top 5 most of the race. He and his teammate Rajah Caruth for Rev Racing had a really nice run, and Sanchez has now won 2 of the last 4 ARCA races dating back to last year. The next ARCA Menard Series race is May 14th at Kansas Speedway. I'll be there working all of the NASCAR weekend as the new track PA announcer there. That'll be kind of fun. This weekend, it's ARCA Menard Series East, NASCAR Xfinity, and the Cup Series on the concrete 1-mile roller coaster in Dover, Delaware. We are now going to turn our attention to the gentlemen who are sitting right next to me. One's got a car out front, one guy's got a busy, shall we say, a busy schedule already. Lots of miles put on, promoting what is going to be another great season of racing. We all get to benefit from the gentlemen that are sitting next to me. Let's welcome in the president of the Interstate Racing Association, IRA President Steve Sinclair, and defending wingless champ, Ryan Marshall. Guys, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
IRA's sanctioning a lot of races. Steve, you do more than just the IRA races. Where have you been already this year getting ready for what was last Saturday night's season opener?
Well, my day job is I work for K&K Insurance, so I insure like 162 tracks in the Midwest and everywhere. So I've been going to a bunch of them. I went to an all-star sprint car race at Attica, Ohio a couple weeks ago. Did the whole Florida thing, saw you there.
Yeah.
I've probably been to 25 tracks already this season. So Chili Bowl, all that stuff.
How'd it go on Saturday night when you got things going where you were talking to racers all year long? I mean, every day your phone rings. How did Saturday night's opener for the IRA, the bumper-to-bumper IRA Sprint Series turn out?
Saturday went really good. It was low pressure. It went well. We had 25 cars. Everybody made the show, so I think that made things a little easier as well. Hats off to Beaver Dam Raceway, Scott Boyd and Carolyn and Jerry for getting that place ready to go after all the rain. And it was lightning fast. It got a tad rough, and I think the guys, for being the first night out, I think most of them were pretty wore out and pretty glad to see the checkered flag when it flew. But it was fast, really good racing. Scotty Thiel did a great job, and the race for second with Jeremy Schultz and Jake Newman. Jake Newman's a former Power Eye midget champion.
Yep.
So having him on board for most of the season is a big deal, I think. It's great to have him on board.
Out of Berlin, Illinois. Or New Berlin, Illinois, I think it is.
It's somewhere near Springfield-ish.
Yeah, I talked to Jake at the Chili Bowl a couple years ago.
Yeah, it was good. And seeing veteran Steve Meyer back and, Scotty Neitzel and Danny Schlafer and Russ Borland. I mean, we got a pretty good crew. I think the big story I saw from a guy that I didn't know what to expect, he's a one of our co-rookies of the year in 2020, Jack Rouston, had a really, really good run. Jack won some Badger midget races the past year or two, but hasn't driven a sprint car in over a year, and he was good. I think he ended up 7th. It was a strong 7th.
So you mentioned these midget guys now racing wing sprint cars. We had Bill Balig on the program a couple weeks back. Parker Price Miller is a full-time All-Star racer this year.
Yes.
Tyler Courtney won the championship last year in the All-Stars wing sprint cars. Parker Price. I mean, these guys are Spencer Baston. They're full-time sprint car guys now. Zeb Wise as well. What do you attribute their background to the progression from what we'd consider open wheel midgets to wing sprint cars? Sometimes in the same season. Brady Bacon's even dabbling now. What do you think that trend means as you observe from this perspective?
I think the trend means that wing sprint car racing pays better.
Okay.
I think that's the bottom line. These guys are professional racers. They want to make a career out of it. They got to race where the money's at. Wing sprint cars pay more. That's just fact. Obviously they're going to try and race other stuff too when they can, because they're professional racers and they got to race to make a living. But wing sprint cars pay more and they're probably safer.
Yeah.
In all sincerity, they're probably safer.
We can talk about the safety that the IRA Sprints has. You've got a traveling safety team. You've got that awareness. You've worked with sanctioning bodies throughout the entire year of your business. K&K Insurance, you've got to ensure the safety. It's got to be right, or you're not going to insure those racetracks and sanctioning bodies. Hanging out with Steve Sinclair. Lots going on. This Saturday, we want to tell you that it's the weekend that Wilmot Raceway opens up. This Saturday will feature winged 410 sprint cars, as well as winged Wisconsin wingless, as well as bandits, as well as modifieds, I believe. So there's a lot going on, Steve. What's your expectation for Wilmot and guys that have an off-point night out, but this early on, they could be in test and tune mode and chasing the series points. I think Wilmot awards a 410 champ as well.
Yeah, at Wilmot, anytime you run a 410 race there, whether it be IRA, Outlaws, whatever, it's a point race. It's basically a paid practice. We've got the All-Stars coming in a couple weeks, and it's new clay there. So it's to help the guys learn what we have and also help the track prep crew figure out what they got to do to prep this thing. I expect Ryan and 40 of his best friends running non-wing cars, and I think it's modifieds, and I think lightning sprints.
Yep, I had it wrong. I have it right on my list. I tried to remember it wrong. Forget the memory thing. It's lightning sprints.
There'll be a full pit area, and it'll be a good night. It'll be a good night for open wheel people. Come on out.
That's this Saturday. Let's bring in Ryan Marshall, who's going to start defending his Autobeater Wisconsin Wingless Sprints Series title. Ryan, you got that beautiful car sitting out there. How would 2021 help you prepare finally for what will be the season opener this Saturday at Wilmot?
This season we started racing for a new team, so there was a lot of changes over the winter time. Last year we had a lot of races last year on the schedule. It was maybe a little bit too much for our series.
It was.
But
it was.
At the same time, it was nice to be able to get that kind of seat time and race that much last year. So we got a good notebook for the car coming into the season. It's actually the same chassis I won the championship with last year.
The same chassis. That's a good news thing.
Yeah.
Tell us how it came down to the wire last year. It's kind of fun to now relive that. We had you on before you sewed up the championship officially last year, Ryan. It came down to Plymouth, that championship night. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it came down to, I think I won it by 10 points over Ryan Zilski. It was, actually there was a point in the feature last year where I think I was starting to do math in my head, and I wasn't sitting so good. He kind of marched up through the field, and I was stuck a little bit. So it came down to like the last 3 laps, I think it was, after a last restart, and got around one car and ended up finishing one spot behind him and clinched it for 10 points.
Wow. I imagine you want to work a little bit harder on getting that gap a little wider before the last race this year at a track you only visit once. Plymouth is only once on the schedule, I believe.
Yeah. That'd be a place that'd be fun to go to more, I think. But it's cool to just be part of that, Wisconsin State Sprint Car Championship deal. It would definitely be nice to be able to go into last weekend more relaxed.
And when it comes to the competition, Steve is not exaggerating. He said 40 of your friends. There were 43 cars one night early in the season last year and averaging, I think, over 30 throughout the year. What do you attribute that to, Ryan? You've raced with these guys now several years. You're the defending champ. They're all aiming for you. What do you attribute the success of the car count and the quality of cars you guys are getting now in Wisconsin Wingless?
Well, I think Steve did a really good job with the rules package with this class. It keeps the cost down, and for me, coming from modifieds and stuff like that, it's nice to be in a car that isn't all about the latest technology. It's kind of more of, it puts it in the driver's hands. Whereas some of the other sides of the sports are kind of going more towards technology, not knocking them drivers at all. But cool thing about sprint cars, it's a really simple race car, really, at the end of the day. And the competitiveness in the series is kind of showing it, in my opinion.
2021, there were 12 different feature winners last year. Jimmy Sivia won 4, Tim Cox won 4, you won 4, Ryan. Chris Klemko is one of the guys that won 1 feature. Ryan Zilski won 7. Hey, that's a pretty deep, steep list there as well when it comes to going racing. And this year, Steve, I want to ask you, Steve Sinclair, you're part of that whole making the schedule work. The Wisconsin Wings is under the IRA sanction. I'm looking at a bunch of races at Wilmot. I'm looking at running at Beaver Dam, Dodge County, once. You've got 3, I think, at Angel Park Speedway in Sun Prairie.
Yep.
You've got 2 at Dodge County. I mean, there's one at 141. There's some ways to make this interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, Ryan's right. We overdid it last year. You know, when you have that many cars, you kind of get cocky a little bit where you know you can book a show and still get 20 or 30 to show up. So we did, you know, and in retrospect, that probably wasn't right. Wilmot's the home. That's where it started from, and that's the Saturday night headliner, per se, at Wilmot, I'd say. And that's where most of them are proximity-wise. It's probably where we should be. Angel Park's a neat deal. Dodge County and a half mile I'm looking forward to. I think that'll be good. We did a little exhibition a couple of years ago, and I thought that went really well. You know, it's within reason. The pay isn't, you know, it's not USAC pay. So, you know, you don't want to beat these guys up on traveling up and down the road too much. You know, Ryan was being nice. You know, the cost is still a lot. I mean, other than the engine, every component on the car, it doesn't know if it's on a World of Outlaw car, USAC car, Wisconsin Wingless car. It all costs the same. So, you know, it's still it's not a cheap deal by any means. But these guys do a good job, and I thought there was pretty clean racing last year. Really wasn't a lot of stuff that was really tore up all that bad. You know, I think these guys did a good job. Tire-wise, they probably don't have to put a new tire on every night. You know, I think the better teams, of course, always will when they can, but I don't think it's necessary for most of them. It is a neat deal. You know, we got Autometers, a title sponsor, and people are looking at it. And you know, I think our T-shirts say it's the best kept secret out there, and it is. I mean, I don't think there's any sprint car series in the country that has the weekly car count these guys do.
And Ryan, how does that make you prepare any different or harder, knowing that you've got support now this year? Has it changed your workload at all? Your mindset, your preparation going into this Saturday season opener with the new opportunity with this team?
We're definitely working, I would say, just as hard as we were last year. You know, we're staying hungry because there is, 40-some guys that are out to knock us off the top. And there's a good group of guys that can do it at any night. I mean, there's guys out there that haven't won a feature yet, but I think if the cards fall the right way, they could win off 2-3 of them at the same, consecutively.
Yeah. You guys like Chris Dodd that have 1 million laps around the place, they win a couple features. It's like, oh, wait a minute.
Right.
He's running with us tonight? I mean, there's that kind of a situation, too.
Yeah, I mean, anytime he gets back in a car, it's going to be tough to beat him. I mean, you got Hall of Famer Tim Cox that's out there every week. And
he's threatened he's not going to run for points this year.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it.
We'll see how the first night goes.
I won that one, guys. I guess I have to keep going now. We heard that in 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016. I'm kidding. A little bit. Tim's a great guy. And he's a great competitor, too. Yeah. Keeps you on your toes. Tell us more about this new opportunity, Ryan. This is kind of exciting knowing that you've got interest and people behind you now supporting you this year.
Yeah. The car owners this year are Eddie and Debbie Boyd of MLS Auto Clinic. They came to me with this opportunity back in late December, I think it was, and super grateful for the opportunity I had in years past for what I had there, and really looking forward to this new adventure. It's a really nice car. It worked pretty good last weekend at practice, so we're feeling pretty comfortable and looking forward to this year.
How much stuff is the same? How much did you acquire? How much is brand new for 2022 for you, Ryan Marshall?
I would say probably about 70% of the car is pretty much a brand new. It's a really nice piece.
Do you have a spare at this point? Do you need to have parts for a spare? Where's that status?
We're pretty good on spare parts. We don't have a spare chassis itself, but we're pretty good on all the bolt-ons, so hopefully we don't have to go down that road at all, but we're ready if something happens.
Okay, Steve Sinclair, we mentioned a bunch of Wisconsin Wingless driver names. You mentioned the guys that are racing with the IRA bumper to IRA sprints. The Lightning Sprints are also sanctioned by IRA. They've got a pretty good group of guys. I mean, this is kind of fun. How do you manage all that time-wise and phone call-wise and schedule-wise?
Not well. I don't manage it well. I'm getting older. I don't know if I'm quite as aggressive as I probably once was, but it's a good group, and you're hoping for stepping stones. That's the whole idea, and kind of control the open wheel market a little bit in this area. And it's a good mix. Nick Petska was a multi-time mini sprint champ, and now they call themselves the Lightning Sprints, and he dabbled in the non-wing thing, and I think he's back in. He was our Lightning Sprint champion last year, so he went back and forth. And we got Ian Steer was a Lightning Sprint guy. He's going to be an IRA 410 Rookie of the Year this year. So it's a good mix. It's good a good group, and it's like 141 when they hire us to race there. They hire all three of our classes together. I think that's kind of a neat deal. We enjoy it. We bring the whole open wheel deal up there, and I like it.
And I'm looking at the schedule here. A couple of dates I'm going to share with you first, Ryan. Saturday, May 14th, Dirt Oval at Route 66 in Joliet, Illinois with Great Lakes Super Sprints. The next night, Sunday night, May 15th, you're at Wilmot with the Lightning Sprints. That's a double dip weekend. That's the first one of the year. How do you handle those when you got one car and some spares, and hopefully you get a racetrack you haven't been to in a while, Route 66?
I'm really lucky where I got some good guys that help us out, help me out every week. I like the double headers. It's kind of cool to get things going on the first night, and by the second night you already know what the car's going to do and whatnot. So it's nice to race back to back sometimes.
It's kind of the Lightning Sprint guys. They only want to run 15, 16 times a year. They're not, they don't want a doubleheader. And we have one, and they're not happy about that. But on the 410 side, because I've got guys coming. I got a Minnesota team. I got a Eau Claire team. I got Springfield, Illinois teams. When they want to come and they want to race twice, so the schedules all look a little bit different.
Okay.
And then the wingless guy, that's more of a local thing. So each schedule's different. And it's unique in its own way. And Ryan, didn't you run second at Joliet last year?
Third.
Okay.
Yep.
I remember you on the podium.
Yep.
And that's it's basically his first time on a big track. Joliet's big.
Yeah, it is.
In a non-wing car, and I think he adapted really well.
Thank you.
You'll get two cracks at the Big Beaver in Dodge County Fairgrounds. How do you fare now that you got that Joliet experience, and that's going to come up here in May, and then you get to go racing in Beaver Dam at the fairgrounds a couple times this year on the big half?
I think the only thing that's comparable between those two tracks is they're both big tracks.
Okay.
Joliet's kind of more of a 50-50 track where they got big wide sweeping corners, shorter straightaways, where Dodge County's two drag strips with a paperclip at the end of it. So that's going to be a whole new experience going to there.
As we go through this early part of the season, we want to get you kind of juiced up for this because it's kind of cool. It's all coming at us. May 20th is the first night of three big nights on that weekend. Friday, May 20, Wilmot Raceway, IRA 410s versus the Tony Stewart's All-Star Sprint Car Series, Steve. That's a huge night and a huge weekend. Tell us more about it.
It's a big weekend. It's a big open wheel weekend, for that matter. So Friday night it kicks off. Friday, May 20th at Wilmot. So you got the IRA All-Stars together, Wisconsin Wingless and Lightning Sprints are support classes. It's all open wheel. Then we go to Plymouth the next night, and the MSA Plymouth 360s are the support class. And then we go to Angel Park, and the Badger Midgets are the support class. So for an open wheel fan, anywhere, that's a great weekend to come on in and we'll see some great racing.
May 20, 21, and 22. Ryan, would you be opposed if somebody said, hey, I've got a midget. Can you come around at the Prairie that weekend? Would you do it?
If you can make me fit in a midget, I'll try it.
I was thinking the same thing.
We've seen a few guys climbing in and out of those that fit between the rails with a little bit of Crisco. I'm just saying. It could happen.
I'd drive anything.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. When it comes to that kind of race weekend, Steve, you're gonna attract some other guys we're not used to seeing race with the IRA, aren't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, the All-Stars are 14.
But then you'll have a couple of dippers that might be, hey, I got an outlaw race on Friday and Sunday, not on Saturday. Here I come.
Right. I think a guy like Kerry Madsen or something is not really tied into a schedule, or I think that's possible, or a Rico or somebody like that. You never know. The All-Stars are pretty tough on their own. And they're going to
14 guys, they say, declared
14,
for full-time.
Yep. And they're going to have, and they got nights under their belts too. I'm hoping we get to race. Our next race is May 7th at Sycamore, Illinois. The last time I saw a race at Sycamore, Illinois was 1982. It's the last time I was there.
All right.
They haven't had a 410 wing sprint car race there since 86 or 87. This is the first time. And the Lightning Spirits and the Badger Midgets are joining us on that one. And, I hope it's a big deal. That's a hidden gem. They have probably one of the most successful weekly shows in the country. They race every Friday and Saturday night with different stock car classes and pack the place. So I'm hoping that we can do a good job. The Wingless title sponsor, Autometer, is based out of Sycamore.
Okay.
So these guys will be going to Sycamore later in the season, actually with the Dirt King late models.
Oh, nice. That's a cool package.
And you were talking about May 15th with these guys. That's a Dirt King show, too. And that's Sunday at Wilmot.
Ryan, who's helping you support? You talked about the new ownership group you've got in place. Who else is helping you with that beautiful sprint car you parked right out front here at Paulie's?
Yeah, I got to say thanks to my sponsors, Don's Machine Shop, MLS Auto Clinic, DMC Powder Coating, Jets Heating and Cooling, Polish Salon, and Gambler Saloon.
And how about the crew and who you brought with you tonight?
Tonight we got Roy Dodd, John Curcio and his 2 kids, Richard Curcio, and my girlfriend actually surprised me up here, so that's pretty cool.
And how about crew help that's there almost every time you need them? Are they all right here right now? That's it? That's everybody?
Group. Yep, that's everybody.
That's cool. Where can we follow you on social media, or is it better to see you in the pits to talk about how they can get involved or follow you closer, Ryan?
I got a Facebook page, Marshall Racing. That's about it for me.
All right. And Steve, congratulations. Bumper to Bumper Auto Parts has been involved
a long time,
with 2 decades?
They just signed up again. I think they first came on board like in 2002. So that's one of the longer standing ones in motorsports, and I'm real proud of that. And a little tidbit here. There's a 3-year contract with Flow Racing sitting on my computer at home right now. So a little extension there.
That's a big deal.
That is a big deal.
So IRA Sprints are fully represented on Flow Racing's platform. It's a great way to follow what's going on when you can't be at the track, when you're maybe at a NASCAR track in Kansas and you want to watch what's going on a Saturday night. It's really convenient to be following you guys around.
So back when this whole thing started with the podcast and stuff, it was Speed Shift was like one of the first.
Yeah.
The first Speed Shift race was an IRA race at 141 Speedway.
Wow.
Honest to God, true.
Wow. That's cool.
Yep.
Ryan, we forget anybody? I got you a minute there to think about, wait a minute, I got to say this. Anybody, or you get them all in?
I think that's about it for me.
Thanks for bringing on that race car. You guys worked hard on making it beautiful tonight. We wish you all the best on Saturday as well.
Thanks for having us.
And Steve, we're going to drag you around here a few more times, not just tonight, but I want to tell you how grateful we are for what you put out as a product, what you do to make sure we get race tracks and race cars and racers to watch race. And it's really been enjoyable watching you for 25 years do what you do. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is my 30th year running IRA.
See, I keep forgetting.
30th year.
Trying to remember that memory
Hard
thing
to believe.
again. 30.
Can't believe it.
You got T-shirts? 30 years with Steve.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they'd be a big seller, but that's a good idea. I like that. And Jim, it's always cool to go to a big track or go to Daytona and see you there and see you on the microphone and or watch Phoenix or something cool like that.
Yeah.
It's really neat to be sitting up here with you two. So
it's cool.
It's cool.
We love racing. Go to IRAsprints.com to follow their schedule. That's where you can find the Wisconsin Wingless tab. Click on that. Find out more about Ryan and his Marshall Racing on Facebook. A great crowd tonight. Great crowd to follow. The sprint car world is well represented here tonight, and we wish you guys all the best as things keep rolling here. Night 2 this Saturday for the what would be the Wing 410 guys. They ran 1-point show this past weekend, and a big start to the season for the Wisconsin Wingless at Wilmot Raceway this Saturday. They get rolling. Gates open at 5 p.m. Try to get there if you can. WilmotRaceway.com is the website to follow along their great schedule as well. Please put your hands together for Steve Sinclair and Ryan Marshall joining us tonight, guys. Thanks for coming down. Thanks for bringing the crew. Thanks for bringing the car as well. We really appreciate it. Make sure you sign our Bob Trado Sign Writer backdrop as well, as all the guests get to sign that throughout the season. Looking forward to seeing you here some Tuesday night. What a great segment. We're coming back with more. We've got a lot more for you. We've got a cart out front. Nick Sobiek's cart sitting out there. We also have a beautiful Sport Mod sitting out there. Jason Schilling has a bunch of folks here with him as well. We're going to talk to him on the program. We're going to talk to Tom Keene, who actually owns Keene Parts with his brother TJ. They're sponsoring the big races. Last Sunday at Slinger, this Sunday at Madison for the ARCA Midwest Tour. Lots to come on this edition of the Racing Roundup Show. Stay tuned.
Join the racing crowd every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central all season long. Share what you love about short track racing on our Facebook page and on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We'll be right back with more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Automatic Transmission Design is located in Germantown, Wisconsin. They've been hard at work the last 15 years in perfecting the best performance racing transmissions and converters. The folks at ATD have made it possible to offer the best quality and most affordably priced winning components for off-road, drag racing, truck pulling, and circle track applications. ATD may not be the biggest or most famous company in the marketplace, but they have the will and put in that extra effort to provide you with the best products available. ATD's certified technicians go through a comprehensive quality checklist on every transmission and converter they build. Then it's tested on their in-house dyno. Only then is the product ready for shipment to the customer. ATD takes these steps to provide you with the best quality products every time. They are 100% guaranteed. Their no returns policy makes sure it's right the first time. The next time you need a performance transmission or converter, give Charlie a call at 262-251-7777 or visit autotransdesign.com.
Need a pack and move? Well, we do a lot of them. And we have all the proper materials to pack your belongings safe and sound so they arrive in the same condition as they went out in. Packing boxes, bubble wrap, mirror packs, lamp boxes, dish packs. We get the job done right. Packed and labeled properly so it all ends up in the right spot in your new place. This is Rick Vanderboom. Blue Mountain Express Moving and Storage will improve your move.
BlueMountainExpress.com. We will improve your move.
Statewide.
Bobby Gutnick and the technicians at Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th Street in Drexel are experts in automotive repair. For over 30 years and counting, the Napa Certified Car Care Center at Oak Creek Automotive handles emissions testing plus minor to major repair. From oil changes to engine and transmission replacement. Call Oak Creek Automotive 414-761-3250. They're open for your convenience Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. and Friday, 7 a.m. till 6 p.m. For all your vehicle repair needs, head to South 27th Street and Drexel to the pros at Oak Creek Automotive.
Matt Kenseth returns to MIS Sunday afternoon, May 1st for the Joe Shear Classic 200. Presented by Keen Park. See the stars and cars of the ARCA Midwest Tour battle on Wisconsin's fastest half mile for $15,000 to win. Plus Midwest trucks and 602 Outlaw Late Model. Get advanced discount tickets and information at MISRacing.com. The ARCA Midwest Tour returns to Madison International Speedway for the Joe Shear Classic 200 featuring NASCAR champ Matt Kenseth. First race 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon, May 1st. Madison International Speedway. Don't miss it.
We're back on the Racing Roundup Show. Our website is racingroundupshow.com. It's kind of convenient, isn't it? The show name and the .com, it's all the same now. Racingroundupshow.com. Our Twitter is at Racing Roundup. Our Instagram is there as well. Interact with us. What do you want to see on the show? What do you like about it? Make sure you share and like our show on Facebook as well. We're on Facebook Live right now as well. Thanks for everybody for tuning in and being part of another great show. Matt Rapina is a great supporter and a gadget master here on the program. He also likes to sell and buy homes or commercial properties. So if you want to choose Matt Rapina, Caldwell Banker Home Sale Realty for your next purchase or sale, list and buy with confidence. Hire a realtor that has the knowledge and expertise to get your next deal done. Not all realtors are the same. You certainly want to choose Caldwell Banker Home Sale Realty and list it with Matt Rapina. Knowledge is power. Hire knowledge. Visit Matt Rapina's website, mattrapina.com. That's mattrapina.com. It is time for the Bonafide Security Solutions Short Track Report for camera and alarm systems for your home or business, programmed card access and gun safes. It's a lock. Support the racers at Team Bonafide by calling 262-790-9400 or go online to bonafidesafe.com. They protect what you value. The Keen Parts Miracle on the High-Max Miller Lite 75th season opener at Slinger Super Speedway was held Sunday afternoon, which featured 5 weekly racing divisions. Ryan Crane won the Pro Late Model 45 lapper, holding off Jeff Holtz, and Oak Creek Automotive sponsored Ryan Gutnecht. Recent show guest Zach Prunty finished 4th. Fast qualifier Tom Behrens took the checkered flag in 5th. The engine went boom in Mike Sandholm's brand new modified during the 35-lap feature. After cleanup, the race was won by Ryan Okurlika over Tyler Schley. Brian Holtz picked up the Sportsman feature win. Tom Elsinger Jr. claimed the Slinger Bees feature, while the podium finishers in the American Super Cups consisted of winner Mike Rose and 2 former Racing Roundup Show guests, David Sear and Sean Urich. Next up, you'll hear and see Luke Fenhouse, Dennis Prunty, Dalton Zier, Conrad Morgan, John DeAngelis, and Greg McCarnes before the Sunday 75-lap big feature race, the ARCA Midwest Tour. Then you hear from the winners in this edition of tonight's installment of Bill Holland's In the Groove on the Racing Roundup Show.
Big races
Thank you, Bill Holland. Nice little video there. We're a video or visual show, so we want to get some fun things in like that on the program. So we enjoy all of that. We enjoy the fact that these guys are back in action, and gals, this coming Sunday. Fenhouse, Majeski, Johnson, all joining Matt Kenseth in a 29-car star-studded field again. This Sunday in the ARCA Midwest Tour Joe Shear Classic 200, sponsored by Keen Parts and CorvetteParts.net at Madison International Speedway. Joined by the Midwest Truck Series and the 602 Outlaw Late Models this Sunday. Dean Strom and I will be there calling the action on MidwestTour.tv. If you can join us for Kenseth VIP ticket packages and event details, visit MidwestTour.racing or MISRacing.com. Troy Springborn won Saturday night's BAM's Dirt Kings late model race at Shawano Speedway. Past champion Nick Envelink was second in the 25-lapper, and BMRE Electric Karts' Brad Miller finished third. Max Kaler captured the flag in the 88-lap Big 8 Series opener Saturday in the 45th Spring Classic at Rockford Speedway. Austin Nason was fast, had a flat, came back up to second before his motor blew. Dale Nottestad also was working his way through the field and ended up in the second spot at the finish line. Dennis Smith and two-time Big 8 Series champion Casey Johnson Saturday night finished third and fourth. Defending Mid-Am Series champ Ron Vandermeer Jr. beat Rick Corso to the win in their 44-lap season opening feature. Cody Amato won the 25-lap Bandit Blast. CK Contractors, LLC.com brings us the Wilmot Raceway happenings. Hire the pros at CK Contractors for Lake Michigan shore restoration, lot grading, excavation, retention, pond building, and more. They have race tickets thanks to CK Constructors. We're giving those away tonight here at Pauley's to the opening night of Wilmot Raceway this Saturday night, April 30th. Thanks again to CK Contractors for that. Winged 410 Sprint Cars, Wisconsin Wingless Sprints, Modifieds, and Lightning Sprints are all in action on the Kenosha County Fairgrounds. And get your tickets now. We talked about it earlier tonight, the Friday night, May 20th, IRA versus All-Star Sprint Car Show at WilmotRaceway.com. That's where all the details are right there and then. We've got a gentleman sitting right next to me. He's got a race car out front. He's got a bunch of people inside of Pauley's with us. Let's give a nice hand to Sport Mod racer Jason Schilling. Jason, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
That's a beautiful race car. Thanks. Has it seen the racetrack yet this year?
No.
Pretty shiny, pretty sporty.
Oh, thanks.
Where's your first night?
Well, hopefully this weekend at 141.
Okay.
But weather permitting, we can go, probably going to go to Beaver Dam because it's closer, or Plymouth.
So you got options. You're not racing for points, it sounds like.
No. We decided that points racing, after my brother won his championship, wasn't worth it anymore.
Okay.
So, and plus with the sport mod, we can travel if we wanted to, we can go out of state. So points racing isn't in the picture whatsoever.
So Jason, I'm putting you on the spot here. What is the difference in general terms between a sport mod, a B mod, and A mod?
Well, the 604 crates are usually what's IMCA A mods are running. They got a 4-link suspension, a lot of different suspension components. Then sport mod, we run 602s, solid pull bar, and shocks and all that also.
So when it comes to racing, how much do you have to change your car based upon the track you go to? Are there certain rules that are unique to racetracks or series you're going to run this year?
No. We seen that Beaver Dam, they made it IMCA type.
Okay.
So, and Plymouth also runs IMCA rules, but they don't call it IMCA rules. But we can go anywhere and not change a thing. We just got to make sure the car is, like, setup-wise perfect for that track.
So it's ideal for you knowing you have that platform of commonality no matter where you want to race. Is it all in-state for you right now, you think?
Oh, yeah. For this year, yeah. We're going to keep it in-state, talk to our chassis builder, see what we can do different to make the car better.
And how much are you hands-on with the shock decisions or what to do on the chassis when you are at the racetrack or in the shop?
Well, a lot of it's a debate with me and my brother Steve, but most of the time I'll let him or my friend Ryan deal with the shock thing. I'll say Steve is 95% right with it, and Ryan just goes with him when they put it on. I'm there watching the track. They just tell me pull me away.
So you want to just drive what they give you?
Well, yeah. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we just drive what we can, see what we can come up with.
I had the misfortune of asking a driver about his setup on his race car and how much he had involvement in it. His name was Kyle Larson after he won the Chili Bowl. He said, "What are you talking about? I don't know anything about setting these race cars up. I just drive them." How much fun is that knowing you don't have to think about, okay, my left front is this, my right front is that? I mean, some guys get wrapped up in that pretty tight. Larson's not okay without it.
Well, that's Larson. I mean, I still know what my shock numbers and spring numbers, ride heights are. We write it down in a notebook. We make sure if it works, if it doesn't. But with Sport Mod, it's very, very touchy with the setup-wise, with the bar angles and all that.
Talk with Jason Schilling, who's got a schedule that could be 2 nights on a given weekend, could be 3 sometimes. Are you going to that heavy with your options this year?
No, we're gonna have to limit it 1 night per week.
All right.
With the tire shortages and all that.
How many years have you put into this Sport Mod level thus far, Jason? And give us some more background on what you have raced to this point.
Well, I would say about 2 full seasons in the Sport Mod, then 1 full season in the Grand National.
So when it comes to making changes, how much do you want to change that car, or how much did, say last year, how much did it change from the notes you had at the beginning in April, when I always say there's a heavier racetrack in Wisconsin because just the nature of spring. Right. It can get dry slick in the middle of summer. Last summer was a really dry summer, so that obviously notebook is there. But how much do you think that change happened between the start of the year and what you ended up with?
Well, with the Grand National last year, we didn't pull out the Sport Mod because we wrecked it the following fall at Rockford for the Bahama brackets.
Okay.
But with the Grand National, we kept it pretty similar to what we know. We hardly changed anything, probably just a shock or a spring, and we just kept it at that. But then mid through year, we wanted to see what we can progress. We got it way better at the end of the year, but results didn't show for sure.
When it comes to the racetrack and getting there, at what point do you have to make the decision? Because some of that setup in the shop has to be done for the track you intend on going to. Mm-hmm. Sometimes Mother Nature says, hey, they're running 3 hours this way. Let's go there instead when you're running down the road. But those kind of decisions, how soon in the week does that have to happen, knowing that you've got an open schedule to choose from?
Well, some of the times it happens on Fridays with a coin.
Okay.
Well, I think Grandpa's going to put that to a stop very quick. He wants us to make sure if it's this track, he wants to know by Wednesday for sure.
All right.
Then if they cancel on Friday, we go to the second track.
Do you have a preference on the tracks? Do you have a need to go, I need to go here first, this is where I need to get my baseline, or this is my favorite racetrack?
141 for sure.
Okay.
Those guys are it's very competitive, 40 to 50 Sport Mods per week there. And those, if you can hang in with them, you're going to be pretty good almost everywhere else.
And how have you stacked up to this point when you've got a chance to race with them?
Well, we're going to find out this week for
oh,
sure.
You haven't yet. Okay, all right.
New car, new everything for us. It's going to be a learning curve again.
What chassis did you end up deciding to go with?
Oh, we got a 2022 Outlaw chassis. Brand new. I think that's their first one for the 2022 season. We happened to get it. We got a bare frame. We built it from the ground up.
And who's the we in the we built it?
Me, my grandpa, Steve, Ryan Fisher, and we have Frank Smith come in the garage once in a while every week, one night per week. He kind of distracted us with his stories, but you gotta listen to Frank Smith.
That's another driver on my list of drivers I've talked to about. How much do you change in the car? What do you do when you change the camber angle? He's like, I don't know. Yeah. I just put put air in the tires and drive it.
That's what he told us.
Does that inspire you then? Because that's what he told me before. I'm like, no way. You've won 26 championships, Frank, in like 15 years. Yep. I just make sure the tires have air in them.
Yeah, that's what he told us for 2 weeks. All he had to do was change tires, make sure the air was right. He went out and won.
It's a little harder than that, isn't it?
Oh, very.
Yeah. When it comes to the shock stuff, you said you know what you have. Do you play with that at all yourself, or do you have the confidence in what you have and the teams and the friendships you have in the pits to kind of help make that decision happen?
Oh, yeah, we're pretty confident. If we want to change something, we go to Brian Crapser. He builds them right out in Brookfield. He helps us, and it's quick turnaround, and he gets it done.
That's a really handy thing to have, knowing his confidence, his ability. He knows what you're racing. He's a racer himself.
Mm-hmm. He helped us a ton. I mean, we had a shock builder. He just fell through.
Okay.
And Brian said he would help us, and he was very, very easy to connect with, and he knows all of our family pretty well. And then his son Adam and Alex race up in 141, so it's very convenient for us to get them from him.
That sounds like a really good plan. The Crapster family's been involved in a long time. You mentioned crew members and family. I think they're all here, aren't they? Because you just kind of looked around the table here at Polly's, and you got some of them. Who's all here with you tonight?
Yeah, my mom, Mike, Lexi, Mariah. We got the Lilly family in the back. Mark Brunner's here. I can see that. My dad, Steve, Nick. He's coming on later. And Mama Fish.
All right. We got a good crowd going. That's a lot of people. And do they help with the car as well on a given occasion? Or are they part of that taping off the seats in the same section of the stands? What's their main role?
Well, Ryan, he comes in and help. Nick, whenever he can, he's out national touring and racing go-karts at Badger Car Club out in Dousman. They come and help whenever they can.
And what about sponsorship on this beautiful car sitting right here at Polly's, ready to race for the very first time this weekend?
Yeah, first of all, I thank my grandpa and my grandma for all the support. And right now we got LeMay Motorsports, J2 Woodworks, J&A Auto Term, Rich's Auto, and Seymour Beverage.
And as far as your time away from work, do you have to thank the boss, or did we already thank them because they're putting money in the race car?
Oh, yeah, we already got to thank them enough. He's letting me take off for the Clash at the Creek, 10,000 to win A mods, 1,000 to win sport mods. Then the Captain at the Creek is 10,000 to win sport mods.
And that's, I'm sure, a big, big deal for you to get ready for.
Yes, I missed that show, battling on the last lap for the transfer spot. I really wish I made that show. I got to get back there.
Got the hunger. How can we find you on social channels and at the racetrack? Because you don't have a set schedule just yet. Where do we need to find out where you're racing?
Oh, yeah. You can follow me on Schilling Racing. It's me and my dad. I post some of his stuff whenever he races, but mostly mine.
It's great to have you on. Thanks for coming down with such a great group of people that really help support you and get things rolling. And good luck with a brand new piece this year.
Thanks.
How about saying for Jason Schilling joining us here at the Racing Roundup Show. He keeps referring to this Nick guy. Nick Sobiak's going to be on the program here in a little while. So we got a bunch of racers hanging out with us tonight. He mentioned of other folks in the crowd. We want to thank everybody for being part of this show. We're going to step away. When we come back, we're talking about a guy who owns a Corvette parts business that is sponsoring short track races. He's sponsored NASCAR Cup cars. His name is Tom Keene. He's sponsoring this Sunday's Joe Shear Classic presented by Keene Parts and CorvetteParts.net. We'll talk to him next about the great involvement he has in short track and grassroots racing on the Racing Roundup Show.
Thanks for tuning in to the Racing Roundup Show. Check out our website, RacingRoundupShow.com, and like our show on Facebook. Join us on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We're coming right back after these messages from our awesome show sponsors.
Get your whole family involved in affordable, competitive kart racing at Millwright Raceway in Dousman, Wisconsin, home of the Badger Kart Club. Walk the pit area, talk to racers, and check out the action from the grandstands. There's a play area for the kids and great food at the concession stand. Spectator admission is free. Badger Kart Club points racers and National Touring Series race on the challenging paved road course most Sundays from April through September. Badger Kart Club is well established and well respected. There's 15 classes and over 100 drivers racing every week. From ages 5 to 75, kart racing offers competition for generations of racers of all ages. Bring the kids and check out kart racing for yourself at one of America's finest kart tracks. This is where Alan Kowicki, Danica Patrick, Sam Mayer, and Josh Palicki got their start. Millwright Raceway is just south of I-94 in Dousman, 35 miles west of Milwaukee, and 45 miles east of Madison. For all the latest information, directions, and race schedule, visit BadgerKartClub.com.
Interstate Batteries, proud sponsor of the Racing Roundup Show and the number 18 of Joe Gibbs Racing. Interstate Batteries is the #1 replacement battery in North America. You deserve the best, so get the best. Go to interstatebatteries.com. Go to interstatebatteries.com to find a dealer near you. Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable. Get yours today. Race on.
The Gravely Mower Series at Olson Outdoor Power is raising the bar on performance with smarter controls, longer run times, and more comfort. Add in layaway and financing from Olson's, and there's no lawn you can't conquer. Buy the best from the best. Gravely at Olson's Outdoor Power, Muskego.
This is America's longest-running weekly motorsports program, held in front of a live audience. Stay up to speed on the Wisconsin racing scene, NASCAR, and the world of motorsports every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central. Thanks for joining us for the Racing Roundup Show. Once again, here is the trackside voice of the Daytona 500 and NASCAR at the track. You see him on MAV TV's live coverage of the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl and the Arca Menard Series. The host of the Racing Roundup Show, Jim Trado.
Hey, gang, thanks again for being part of this great April 26th broadcast. We can't tell you how excited we are about racing in Wisconsin in full form and the support we get from great sponsors like BMRE Electric Carts in Random Lake. Brad Miller is Wisconsin's only Icon dealer. He has in-stock inventory and customizing options available right now on their Facebook page. Find him at BMRE Electric Carts Company on Facebook. This coming Sunday is the Joe Shear Classic presented by Keen Parts and CorvetteParts.net. It's Sunday afternoon. Things get rolling in the morning, but things have been rolling for a long time with this sponsor that's gotten involved in the Keen Cup awarded last Sunday at Slinger, and the Keen Cup's on the line again this Sunday, and the $15,000 to win Joe Shear Classic 200 presented by the gentleman we're talking to next with Keen Parts and CorvetteParts.net. Let's welcome in Tom Keen via the phone. Tom, welcome to the Racing Roundup Show.
Thanks for having me.
This is neat for us to know that Keen Parts cares about short track grassroots racing. I've seen your logo on race cars. You're on the quarter panel at the race at Talladega in an ARCA car, and I want to tell you, I've been watching what you're doing with the Quapple brothers, Travis Quapple's sons, Caden and Carson. They are tearing it up. It's got to be neat knowing your business is involved in short track grassroots racing, and you're benefiting a bunch of Wisconsin races by sponsoring these two big races this year. How'd this all come about with you getting involved not just with the Quapples but with the Midwest Tour and Slinger Speedway?
Well, Archie St. Clair's got to take most of the credit of that. He used to own the 32 team, but it's one of those. Us and the Quaffles have been a team for quite a while now, so it's one of those. We've watched the kids grow up from doing their wing sprints at Millbridge and doing what they're doing now, which, well, my quote is that they're the next Kurt and Kyle Busch. So it's one of those. It's interesting to watch them how they go.
Tom, when it comes to those guys, we know Carson Quapple is returning this Sunday to race in the Joe Shear Classic at Madison International Speedway, but you guys are stepping in with some sponsorship of your own. That Keen Cup giveaway at Slinger, that was pretty impressive. Tell us more about the Keen Cup and the results there. Is it going to be an ongoing thing, or is this the first of many chances we get to see the Keen Cup being awarded at short track races?
It's an ongoing situation where Archie come up. He goes, this would be neat to have a great trophy such as the Keen Cup, which is similar to he's from Maine with all the hockey stuff, so kind of like the Stanley Cup. and he wants to kind of turn it into something which is kind of cool. And so it's one of the deals. I'm all for it. We started out at Florence Speedway down in South Carolina with the Icebreaker. And then we went to Georgia. Now we're up in Madison, and then we're also going to be over at Jennerstown. And so we're kind of bouncing it around various places around the country, and want to hopefully it catches on to where it turns into a prestigious deal.
It's already a big deal, knowing the drivers we have in Wisconsin, and they're racing for the Keen Cup again this Sunday. Matt Kensett's returning. Carson Quapple's he went in the full schedule in 2019 with the Midwest Tour. He's coming back. It's going to be a great race. For those who don't know, Tom, who is the CorvetteParts.net customer? That's your main business, right?
Well, Keen Parts is our main business. But after we did a few races with Keen Parts on the quarter panel of the ML Racing 70 car back in an Xfinity, we realized that Keen Parts, what does Keen Parts really say? It doesn't really say what we do. So we found out that CorvetteParts.net was available, so we snatched that web domain, and so that created KeenParts.net, and then we've been putting that on quarter panels and putting Keen Parts on the hood, so kind of co-branding, and everybody's kind of accepting that as what we're doing. And then we was getting a lot of commotion when we was on Archie's 32 Ford with CorvetteParts.net.
Speaking with Tom Keen, he and his brother TJ owning CorvetteParts.net, and I'm just thinking that we have a short summer here comparatively. Maine, the same thing. We've got to get every ounce of every chance we get. If we've got a Corvette in the garage, we're going to go out and run it as much as we can when the weather's nice for these 2.5 months, it seems like. What kind of parts can you offer to to the everyday guy and the guy that wants to soup up their Corvette?
We're a bumper to bumper supplier, especially in the restoration market, and we're getting into the resto rod market with the EFI units and all the jazz that they're putting on the resto rod market. So it's one of them deals where if you got a Corvette, we're interested in trying to help you. And we do something rare in today's world. We answer the phone, where you call the magic 800 number of 757 Keen, and somebody will answer the phone and talk to you. And my favorite expression is, there's never a dumb question, there's just dumb answers. And hopefully we don't give too many of those. But our main gig is relationships. We want to know who we're dealing with. We want to know we want to know what you're doing. We want to help you with your project. We want to give you that personalized service. And so that's what makes us different than some of the big boxes, and to where you got to punch 3 to get to somebody and sit on wait. We're going to answer the phone.
Tom Keen, we can't thank you enough for what you do for racing. You take your business, you work hard for that money and building those relationships, and then you're here to support short track racing in Wisconsin for 2 consecutive weekends. It's been great talking to you for a few minutes. Hope to see you this weekend or sometime soon. I know you've got a lot on your plate, but we really appreciate you spending a few minutes here on the Racing Roundup Show, telling us more about the Keen Parts and Keen Cup and CorvetteParts.net. We're looking forward to telling people more about it during the broadcast this Sunday as well on MidwestTour.tv. Thanks for your time, Tom. We really appreciate it. Sounds like a lot of cool things going on.
Thanks for the opportunity. Have a great day.
You bet. Tom Keen joining us on the Racing Roundup Show. KeenParts.net, CorvetteParts.net. They're putting serious money in the Keen Cup on the line and the $15,000 that goes with it to win the 200-lap ARCA Midwest Tour race this Sunday, the Joe Shear Classic 200 presented by Keen Parts. Spectator gates open at 10:30 this Sunday at Madison. Practice begins at 11:30, qualifying 12:45, racing at 2 for the ARCA Midwest Tour, Midwest Truck Series, and 602 Outlaw Late Models. Get your tickets in advance. Save $5, $25 in advance, $30 at the gate. Wheeling Heroes senior and student tickets are $22 in advance. Ages 6 to 11 are $10. Kids 5 and under are free. Madison International Speedway also has a family ticket for 2 adults and 2 youth under age 17 for $60. Find out more at misracing.com. It's going to be a great race weekend. They practice on Saturday. All racing happens on Sunday. Next up, our guest that has raced a bunch on Sundays at now Millwright Raceway, home of the Badger Kart Club in Dousman. Let's welcome in champion kart racer Nick Sobiek. Nick, welcome to the show. Thanks for being on.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks for bringing the kart down.
Yeah, of course. It's a beautiful piece.
With your schedule, I'm surprised you had a Tuesday night off. Man, you've been racing all over the place, haven't you?
Yeah, we've been all over. Just got back from Camden, Ohio, and just did go down there, ran good with the team. And huge thanks to my dad, as always. I mean, he brought me down there. We kicked some butt, finished first and second in the one class, and ran good. I mean, I can't say anything more about it.
Racing on the national level, my brothers raced at Badger Raceway, now called Millwright Raceway. They raced WKA, they raced nationally. There's a lot of competition, and not only in Dousman, but across the nation. How much time have you put in, how many years have you put in now to race and beat and perform at that high level nationally?
I mean, I've been racing karts for 13 years, started when I was 5, and I mean, ever since then, I've just been enjoying it, having fun with it, and I mean, that's the main thing. You got to have fun with what you're doing, and we just kind of keep going on from there. We started doing national stuff when I was 12, and just kept going from there.
And last year, you won how many championships, I guess? If last year was a championship with Badger Kart Club, how many does that make in your karting runs in Dousman?
I think that makes about 3 or 4 championships, yeah, so.
Not easy to do there either, is it? I mean, it's tough competition on a given Sunday afternoon or Saturday.
Yeah, there's a lot of good people there and a lot of good competition. I mean, racing's great down there, so I enjoyed every minute of it.
Are you able to use the same engine package? We talked before the show about having that 206 engine. That's been the common theme for you, right?
Yeah, I've been running 206 ever since I was in kid karts, and I think that's just the main way to go, cheapest way to get into racing. And I mean, everyone can get a 206. They're really accessible, and they're great to run. Really competitive motor. So
in reality, you've come in as an entry-level young racer, and you're still racing the same engine, so you know that matching RPM, you know the gearing, but that means everybody else is kind of doing the same thing, right?
Right.
Well, how do you get your edge?
It's all driver. I mean, that's what the motor is meant to be, and I mean, that's what it does. It's all driver, all setup, and just how you react to the kart, how you handle the kart, and just kind of how your focus stays out throughout the race.
And Nick Sobiak's getting some attention from manufacturers as well. Nick, you were been accused of being a crew member on that race car sitting out here when you get a free minute. Now, how much fun is that being around other forms of racing? How does that help you as a kart racer?
It makes me want to race a car more, but I love the grassroots where I come from, and I mean, an opportunity in the car would be great, but I love working on them, helping Jason out, and just it's a great time out there.
Hang out with Jason Schilling when his schedule does not conflict with what is a chassis manufacturer opportunity. Tell us more about how that has parlayed into you racing more.
Yeah, I mean, I've been running a lot of Margay Ignite stuff. I went to, what was it? North Carolina. I ran down there with those guys, finished first and third, and it's just a great series. Everyone's super nice, always able to lend a hand, and just great people down there.
When it comes to that, is that your sole focus? They tell you where to race, when to race, or is there more to it?
I mean, they just say, hey, come race, and we just go for it. I mean, I love the opportunity and just going to different tracks. I mean, I went to North Carolina. It was my first time ever there, and we put it on podium.
What track did you get to race there?
That was in the North Carolina Speedway.
Okay.
NASCAR one.
Oh, the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
that road course that the NASCAR Cup guys get to run on.
Yeah, correct. So we ran that, and I never been there. I mean, P1, I'll take it. So ran good.
That is cool. What about the kart you have outside? When are you going to race that one next? And is that the one you raced in Camden, Ohio last weekend?
That is, yeah. So that kart down there is just one of two I have. I also run a Merlin that is sponsored by Franklin Kart out in New Berlin. I mean, great guys down there, and got the card from them, and it was perfect. I mean, that's the car we finished P1 in at Camden, so it ran great, did what it needed to do.
Is it a big difference jumping chassis to chassis? And does it help you as a racer not having just one kart that you really got to focus on, because that could be a big difference maker?
Right. I mean, jumping from chassis to chassis it helps a little bit. I mean, it learns what different karts can do. I mean, staying in the same kart, it's nice, because if you run one class, go to the other, and if you don't want to change adjustments and driving style, but I personally enjoy it. So it helps me as a driver kind of learn more about what the kart's doing.
So Chris Johnson's here. He grew up at the dirt track I grew up at, Hell's Corner Speedway. He got to race there. You and Chris go back far enough where Chris said, Nick, you have to get on the Racing Roundup show. What's your background to racing, and what steered you to karting?
So my Mimi and Papa first got me into it when I was about 5, and I mean, a 5-year-old in cars, I mean, just goes like peanut butter and jelly. So I mean, it's probably the best thing for a 5-year-old to just get in there and keep going and going. And I mean, I love spreading the karting world with kids. I mean, I driver coach a bunch of 5-year-olds, and
really,
yeah, I do a lot of driver coaching with them, and I just love expanding the sport of karting. I mean, that's the grassroots way to go in racing.
Does that happen on the same weekends you're racing, whether it be a national or a local race, or is it sometime you take out on maybe a practice day to do that? That's interesting.
Yeah, we go out on a practice day sometimes. I'll just work with the kid, learn apexes, passing zones, and just teach them all this little techniques and whatnot.
And how does that help you? Because some of those questions might make you think, okay, he's asking me a question that I should know the answer. I do know the answer, but now I'm applying it. This is exactly what I need to work on. I mean, how does that help you kind of in a different way where you get these honest, open, curious questions from these youngsters?
It really makes you think, because once you were that age too, asking the same questions, and it's nice to spread the same answers to them and kind of get them going from there and just kind of point them in the right direction.
Nick Sobiak joining us, winning a championship last year, his 3rd or 4th at Millwright Raceway in Dousman, the home of the Badger Car Club. How much do you think you'll be racing on Sundays in Dousman, and how much of your schedule will be on a national level?
I'll probably be racing more national stuff. I mean, we're running WK, Cup Karts North America, and all that is 206. So I think we're very committed to the 206 program with Briggs. We're going to run a few down in Dousman just for some seat time, and I just love going down there. Like everyone over there, Chris, Mama Fish, Ryan, my mom, and everyone down there, along with Jason. It's a great family, great facility, and we all just go and have a great time, and that's what Millwright Raceway is about.
Are they the folks you just named off, the ones that are here supporting you tonight?
Yeah. Fortunately, my dad wasn't able to be here. He works 3rd shift, so he had to take his power nap and take his nap. So, huge thanks to my sister, too. I mean, she puts up with me, and that's a lot.
You were about to get punched really hard in the arm if you forgot her name. I can tell by the look she just about gave you there.
More than the arm, yeah.
Yeah.
So
maybe the shoulder or both or something.
Yeah, Chris would have been carrying me out. So.
Who else is involved with this process and program you get to build and have fun racing with?
Just a huge thanks to VLR Chassis, Merlin, Margay, Keith from Margay, Gio and Jamie down at Franklin, all the VLR guys in California, Cup Karts, mainly my mom and my dad. I mean, they keep me going in it. They keep me, keep getting me what I need just to keep going in my career, and I just can't thank them enough.
Is your schedule pretty much set right now?
We're pretty set. I mean, I'll probably cherry pick some races and just kind of go from there. I mean, I'll run some Tuesday night stuff at Road America and just have fun.
Lots of options available. Lots of things going on.
Yeah.
Where can we follow you? Where can we find out where Nick Sobiak's going to race next?
You can follow me on my personal Facebook at Nick Sobiak, along with my Instagram. And then Sobiak Racing is the one we post all of our main racing stuff on, and just results and updates on what we're doing next. So
Nick Sobiak's last name sounds like Sobiak, but it's spelled a bit differently. So how can we find you when we type it on the keyboard?
So just type in KSOBIECH. The K is silent, but there's a K, so put it in.
And he's doing a lot of W's, as in winning. Nick, thanks for joining us on the show. What a great segment we had. Nick Sobiak joining us. Give him a hand. Thanks for bringing the cart down. We're bringing the feds.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
And family, it's been fun to have you on and talk about kart racing. It's a bunch of fun, as he's our Anderson's Maple Syrup short track spotlight driver. I'd like to remind you, Anderson's Maple Syrup Racing is all about racing. They sponsor Wisconsin racers Dennis Prunty, Bill Baylog, and Jason Gross. You want to try Anderson's Maple Syrup? Find it in your local grocer's aisle. Try it in your coffee or tea or on ice cream. Take it with you with Pure Fuel, Maple Energy on the go. Anderson's Pure Quality since 1928 is available at andersonsmaplesyrup.com. When we come back, we're talking about getting involved. You getting involved with a Racers Fund in memory of Mike Weir. We'll find out more about Mike and the Memorial Fund that's going to help out a student that's in the trades. Next on the Racing Roundup Show. Stick around.
Join the racing crowd every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central all season long. Contact us on our website, racingroundupshow.com. We'll be right back with more of the Upper Midwest and Wisconsin racing scene, NASCAR, and the world of motorsports. Bobby Gutnick and the technicians at Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th Street in Drexel are experts in automotive repair. For over 30 years and counting, the Napa Certified Car Care Center at Oak Creek Automotive handles emissions testing plus minor to major repair, from oil changes to engine and transmission replacement. Call Oak Creek Automotive, 414-761-3250. They're open for your convenience Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. till 9 p.m., and Friday, 7 a.m. till 6 p.m. For all your vehicle repair needs, head to South 27th Street and Drexel to the pros at Oak Creek Automotive.
Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 and Lincoln is a great place to watch NASCAR races, Packer games, Brewer games, and to meet up with your friends. Joey and Jim Lynch pride themselves on their friendly hospitality and welcome Racing Roundup listeners to stop in to watch all the races on their 14 TVs and flat screens. Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 and Lincoln has been a longtime supporter of racers, including National Road Racing Motorcycle Champion Dan Belansky. Relax around the big neighborhood bar with 2 pool tables and dartboards surrounded by TVs. Whether you're meeting up before the game, want to watch the races with race fans, or just want to grab a cold one, head to Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 Lincoln and West Allis.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Elkhart Lakes Road America this 4th of July weekend. The NASCAR Quick Trip 250, presented by Jockey Made in America, and the NASCAR Xfinity Series Henry 180 guarantees high-speed thrill and endless family fun. Enjoy the family fun zone, camping on site, and free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult. Don't wait. Get your tickets today at roadamerica.com. Road America, your national park of speed.
Greenfield Gallery wants to buy your racing collection. Do you have die-cast cars from IndyCar, Sprint Car, or short tracks? Greenfield Gallery wants them. If you have old racing programs, racing photos, and negatives, Greenfield Gallery wants those too. Contact Ralph Hibbert Jr. at Greenfield Gallery, who wants to buy your racing collection. Ralph also has an ever-changing eBay store full of racing collectibles. Search Greenfield Gallery. Email Ralph right now to get connected. His email address is ralph@greenfieldgallery.net. Eliminate the hassles of planning a trip to the races. Hook up with Boring Bob's escorted NASCAR racing tours. Boring Bob offers transportation, lodging, race tickets, nightlife, shuttle service, and more. Boring Bob knows all the back roads into and out of the racetrack to get you in and out fast. Pick one or pick them all. Go in style to Daytona, Bristol, Phoenix, Las Vegas, and more. He has decades of experience and industry contacts galore. You name the race, let Boring Bob do the rest. Call Boring Bob today to make plans now to go on one of Boring Bob's famous escorted NASCAR racing tours. Boring Bob's always at 414-321-1307. That's 414-321-1307.
Paulie's Pub and Eatery at 81st Street and Greenfield Avenue serves up Milwaukee's best pizza, outstanding wings, and a great pub menu. Paulie's Kitchen is open late every night with great nightly specials. Paulie's has a shuttle bus to all Brewers games. Party on the patio this summer with Paulie. Paulie's has 18 flat-screen TVs to catch all of your favorite sports. Stay up to speed and download Paulie's mobile app and receive a free 22-ounce tap beer. Paulie'sPubandEatery.com. Have you partied with Paulie?
We're back on the Racing Roundup Show. Glad to have you along for the ride. We're having a great time tonight. Next Tuesday, another great show for you. Schlafer Auto Body has been around for a long time. Since 1974, 4 generations of racers have been getting it done the right way for your personal vehicle, your fleet of work trucks, your motorhome, your daily driver. They work with all insurance companies. Search Schlafer Auto Body on Facebook to get in touch with this family of racers and to check out their latest award-winning classic car restoration projects. I think I saw a 57 Chevy sitting in there ready to get redone at the shop in Lannon this week, so by all means head on down that way. Hey, we've got a lot to chat about yet on this here program. We've got a friend of ours, Mike Weir, passed away suddenly December 28th. If you followed racing around here, dirt racing at Hills Corner Speedway, Hales, Wales, Sportsman, late models, Mike was a well-loved and hard-charging competitor. He passed away in December. And now we've got 3 guys that want to do something about it. Mike was a great guy. I knew Mike. He was a lot of fun. He and his brother Steve are just guys that you knew you could count on and were fun to be around and still are great guys to be here. So the Mike Weir Memorial Fund has been set up to help out a young man or woman who wants to get in the trades at WCTC. So let's welcome in Wes Burnham, Stan Bodansky, and Mike's brother Steve Weir. Guys, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having us, Jim.
Steve, we'll start with you. Your brother Mike was something, wasn't he?
Oh, I wish he was always here, but he's always here in my heart. But I'm just going to start out with Mike being started route racing back in the early '80s in the Hales, Wales, and he did that for a while, and then
you did.
He helped me out.
Yeah.
Mike was always a low budget racer, but very successful, and then. He didn't have enough racing, so then he went down to Wilmot and raced Hales Corners and Wilmot, and it wasn't fast enough for him. So then he went Sportsman drive racing, put one together, and ran a Sportsman for a while, and then that wasn't fast enough. So then he went and bought a late model. So then he was running a late model for a few years, and then all of a sudden one day he decided, I'm done wrecking them, let's rebuild them. So then Mike was rebuilding cars and restoring cars for years. Up to this date, he was still doing that.
Okay.
Every car from mid-'80s to 40s, old coupes, and that's what he enjoyed doing. He enjoyed fixing cars, doing whatever it takes, helping anybody, and especially helping racing me, helping Stan, helping Wes, helping everybody. And then right now, which is unbelievable, is my nephew Jacob, 2 years ago, came over to Mike and says, Mike, I want to go racing. And Mike helped him out. He got a 4-cylinder, and then Mike says, let's go to the V8.
That's not going fast enough.
Yeah.
The theme continues.
He didn't go fast enough. So then Jacob brings a street stock over without a motor. So then he's like, hey, Uncle Mikey, I need a motor, So sure enough, Mike goes in the garage, and there's another block, and he goes, here you go, let's put a motor together, and let's go racing. So he's been doing that for another year, and very successful.
And Steve, you guys raced together. He raced in other divisions. Sometimes, how much of that work did he do himself? How much time did he spend learning as he did that?
Mike did everything by himself. He didn't have anybody really help him out. He just learned, and he did it all. And we had many of our friends, like I see a lot of our old friends racing, that were racing buddies here, helped us out a lot also. But Mike did everything by himself, and that's what we're trying to promote here, which we'll let Wes talk about later. But then Stan's up here because after Mike was done racing, then he helped Stan and Goober, Danny Tavelsky. So.
Stan, let's get into that. Mike no longer drove, but he wanted to be right there helping you guys go fast.
Well, when Stevie finished racing the modified, Wesley was helping Goober and I with the late model, and I asked Wes if Mike would be interested in helping us with the late model because I needed help. The late model is a lot of work. and Wes called Mike, and he was working as an apprentice, as a sheet metal worker, and Wes asked him if I could come out and talk to him. And I did, and I asked him for his help with that late model so that we could get better with it. And he immediately agreed to do that, and our team just got that much better because of Mike. Mike forgot more about tires than I'll ever know.
Wow.
Mike was the reason why that tire program for that late model, for Danny's late model and his modified, Mike took care of all of that. He was smart, hardworking, talented, and most of all, loyal. If Mike decided that he was your friend, he was all in. No matter what, if you needed something, at 2 o'clock in the morning, he'd come and help you.
Wow. Wes, you and your wife Laura came to me and said, we need to talk about this. We need to do something because Mike was that special guy. We need to help somebody in Mike's name, in Mike's honor. And the Mike Weir Memorial Fund has now been formed. Tell us about how we can, as racers and fans and people watching the show, get involved with a memorial fund you guys have set up.
Well, we've got 2 ways you can get involved. And one is a Facebook page that's dedicated to Mike's memory. And there is a QR code that's tied into that. So if you want to do that, it ties itself into your PayPal account.
Okay.
Or you can send a cash donation and send that to P.O. Box 254, 401 Industrial Drive, Heartland, Wisconsin 53029. And the objective is helping somebody who does fabrication the way Mike did, or paint, or crash repair, a student at WCTC, to help them buy tools and equipment for their tenure in the program out there at WCTC.
So Waukesha Trade School. So the Mike Weir Fund is actually going to benefit a student whether they need tools or tuition to learn the trades.
That's exactly right.
Or buy tools, or buy a gun or something, a spray gun, whatever needed.
Right.
How proud do you think Mike would be you guys are doing this? Mike was a pretty humble guy, I'd say, wasn't he?
Yeah, but I know that he was very proud of the work that he did on the Monte Carlos and the coupes that he worked on, and the 61 Impala. He was proud of every one of the cars that he had a hand in.
Stan, I need to get this in. Mike Weir had the perfect hair. His hair was perfect. Helmet or no helmet, Mike's hair was always like boom. You could see him coming. You know, in the distance, you see as the sun goes down, you know it's Mike Weir coming at you.
No, the deal is you can't mess with the dew. He could take his helmet off, and the dew was in perfect order. You can't mess the dew.
Steve, I know you missed your brother terribly, but I mean, it's got to be fun knowing that we're still talking about Mike. We're still hanging out, doing something good, and it's got to be neat knowing that you guys did a lot of things over time that people recognize and say, "Hey, I want to be part of that in some way."
This was actually quite really great that Wes even brought this up, and the hard work that he put in and to dedicate all of his time for this. I mean, even Mike would be proud of that because Mike was always a low-budget racer, and that's what Wes is trying to gear towards. If there's a guy struggling at school and doesn't have the tools and the equipment, this way what we're trying to do is we're trying to provide that individual to either buy the tools or the equipment that it takes to restore vehicles. And I think Mike would love that because we're going to try to continue to do this, and hopefully everything can be successful.
We have cards here that I hope Laura can leave behind. So if you can't be here with us tonight, the cards actually have the QR code on them, and it's got the address, and it's also it's got the reason why they're doing this. And Wes, if you wouldn't mind, give us the address if people want to send the Memorial Fund and donate.
Sure. If you want to put your donation in the mail, it'll come to 401 Industrial Drive, P.O. Box 254, Heartland, Wisconsin 53029.
And you have a Facebook page.
That's dedicated to Mike's memory.
Okay, Mike Weir. Weir spelled W-E-I-R. And there's going to be information on there as well. Fans from Hales Corners Speedway, I'm guessing there's something there at some point, right?
Yes.
That's a big group of folks as well, so join in there. And I'm thinking this is going to be kind of cool to have these cards with us. So if you want to come to an upcoming show, we'll have the cards with us. You've got information now on the show. I think it'd be really neat if you guys would accept $100 from us. Is that okay to start things off?
Excellent. Thank you.
All right, you bet. We'll give you some money towards that. Mike was a great guy. And if you can contribute, you now know ways to do that. We'll have the cards with us at upcoming programs. And it's neat that we can hang out and talk about Mike. And you guys are great to chat with. And I'm glad we got a few minutes with you on the show as well.
Well, we appreciate the time, Jim, and the forum to do this.
Absolutely. How about I say for Wes Burnham? Go ahead.
Thank you very much.
Stan, thank you. And thank you, Steve, for being here.
Thanks, Jim.
They said you'd be a hard guy to get up here. But I know you were on the show 25 years ago or something like that. Was Central Services back in the day.
Yeah, that was, well, me and Mike both were on the show.
Yep. Yeah.
I was on the show a couple times for winning the championships.
Yep.
Back in the 90s. And then Michael was sponsored by Yesteryears Pub and Grill.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And when Yesteryears had Racing Roundup, that's when Mike was invited with his late model. So he was at Monreal's for one, and I believe Yesteryears for one. So Mike, like I say, he was just involved in racing no matter what he could do.
And if you can contribute in helping someone do exactly what Mike loved to do, by all means, contribute to the Mike Weir Memorial Fund. Again, thanks, Wes Burnham, Stan Bodansky, and Steve Weir, guys. We really appreciate you bringing the crowd tonight, too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are going to wrap it up here on this edition of the Racing Roundup Show. We want to make sure you stay in tune with what's going on in racing. Let us know what you like and don't like. Our website is racingroundupshow.com. We've had a great time with you guys tonight. I'd like to remind you that we've got a great show again next Tuesday. Our program includes Kyle Caswell, a dirt racer. We've got Wisconsin NASCAR Xfinity Series driver Parker Retzlaff via video link. We've got the winner of this Sunday's Joe Shear Classic. They'll join us. They don't know it yet, but they're going to be on our show next week as well. And we're also going to have A&A Tire Drag Race Report with John DiPiazza and Junior Drag Racing siblings, Elena and Cameron Liss, plus a lot more on the short track scene that's cooking it. And it's really getting up to speed here. A lot of things to share with you on the short track scene as well as the national scene and the world of motorsports. I'm heading off to Madison this Sunday to be part of the Joe Shear Classic presented by Keen Parts. We want to remind you that we've got a lot of things going on. But if you want to be part of our show, go to our website, racingroundupshow.com, and visit our show site. Contact us through there as well. We got a lot of great sponsors. Their logos are on that website. Click on them, please, and support them and tell them where you found out about their program and what they do to provide support for us as well. Big thanks to our show crew, Dave Schmalzer, been doing it forever, Matt Rapina, thank you again, Greg Lapine, Sam Trado, Dean Strom, Sherry Prague, Bruce Blodgett, Mark Goodman, all contributing to make this show possible. Also want to do one more thank you to our show guests. Thank you to Steve Sinclair and Ryan Marshall. Thanks for bringing the car down, Ryan. Thank you to Jason Schilling for bringing down the entire name of Schilling family. Everybody's here named Schilling. Thank you guys for coming with the race car as well. Nick Sobiak, thanks for being just cool racing, kart racer. Hangs out the dirt guys. His kart's here. Find out more. Follow Nick on socials as well. He's a Badger Kart Club alum, and he's still going to race out there on Sundays as well. Also, thanks to Tom Keene of KeenParts.net and Wes Burnham, Stan Bodansky, and Steve Weir with the Mike Weir Memorial Fund. We're back here next Tuesday night at Polly's Pub and Eatery. Until then, set your DVR, support your local racing, and have at it, racers. We'll see you then.
Thank you for joining us for the Racing Roundup Show. Like our show on Facebook, contact us via our website, racingroundupshow.com, and interact with us on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We are delivering fresh content every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central. Until next time, race fans, support your local racetrack, set your DVR, and have at it, racers.